There is a quiet power in stillness, a force more profound than pursuit, more magnetic than words, a power that reveals itself when we step back, when we allow distance to speak, and when we honor the rhythm of the heart. There is a profound force in the quiet spaces between people, in the moments when presence is withheld, not out of malice, but out of awareness and wisdom. When one steps back, when one allows silence to speak louder than words, a transformation begins, not only within the one who has withdrawn, but within the one who is left to wonder. The act of absence carries with it a hidden power, one that the mind rarely perceives at first, for it is subtle, gentle, and yet profoundly effective. The world teaches us that pursuit is the measure of desire, that attention is the currency of affection. Yet there is a higher principle, a law that governs human hearts with precision, one that shows that sometimes it is in stepping away that one truly moves forward. When a man pulls away, the immediate instinct is often to chase, to seek reassurance, to fill the void with words, messages, and gestures that demand acknowledgement. But there is a greater wisdom in restraint. By allowing him the space he has claimed, by honoring his moment of distance, one does not diminish oneself, but rather strengthens the very presence that cannot be taken by another. It is in this withdrawal of overt attention that a subtle magnetism is awakened, a recognition that the individual who steps back is not needy, not frantic, but grounded in a calm confidence that comes from self-knowledge. One begins to see that absence is not emptiness, but a kind of fertile silence, a space in which understanding grows and clarity emerges. It is not a game, nor a strategy born of ego, but a natural rhythm that mirrors the cycles of life. Just as the moon pulls away from the sun to reveal its own glow, so too does the act of stepping back reveal inner light, drawing attention not by clamor, but by the undeniable force of authenticity. When one ignores, not in cruelty, but in mindful detachment, a man who has pulled away, one allows the currents of reflection and self-discovery to unfold. He begins to see, perhaps for the first time, the value of what was taken for granted, the presence of the one who stands with quiet strength, unshaken by his retreat. This power of absence teaches patience, teaches restraint, and above all, teaches that true connection is never forced. It is earned in the sacred balance of engagement and space, in the acknowledgement that every human heart requires room to breathe, to grow, to realize what is precious. And as the moments of separation accumulate, there emerges a transformation, not only in the one who has pulled away, who begins to feel the weight and wonder of their own choice, but in the one who stands firm, serene, and unmoved by the whims of desire. There, in the quiet, in the patience of absence, lies a truth as old as time, that in yielding, in allowing space, one holds the power not to compel, but to awaken longing, respect, and recognition, forces far deeper than the fleeting grasp of attention or the ephemeral thrill of pursuit. There is a force far greater than the desire to be wanted, and it resides within the quiet certainty of one's own worth. To understand self-value is not merely to speak of confidence or self-esteem in passing, but to recognize a law of the soul, a principle that governs human interaction more reliably than words, gestures, or fleeting emotions. When a man pulls away, the natural response may be fear, doubt, or the urge to chase. Yet those who are guided by true understanding know that the power does not lie in pleading for attention, but in knowing one's own worth and standing unwavering in the boundaries set by the heart. For boundaries are not walls meant to imprison, but shields that honor the sacred space of one's being, the integrity of one's spirit, and the respect one demands from others, not through force, but through presence and clarity. To maintain boundaries is to act from a place of self-respect rather than insecurity. When one allows another to see that their absence does not diminish value, a remarkable transformation occurs. Desire is awakened not by insistence, but by recognition of an individual's strength, their refusal to bend to the whims of others. The one who understands this principle walks with a serenity that radiates quietly, yet unmistakably, attracting attention without effort, drawing connection without demand. In relationships, as in life, those who give themselves fully without compromise or erosion of their dignity command a respect that no words can replicate. It is in these moments that the heart's true power is revealed, not in yielding to the anxiety of distance, but in the calm, steadfast assertion of value. Boundaries are not cold or unfeeling. They are expressions of love. Love for oneself and love for the other, for each person is permitted the space to discover their path, to allow a man the room to pull away while maintaining one's own standard of respect is to engage in a delicate dance of balance, a rhythm in which the forces of attraction, reflection, and longing move naturally. In stepping back, one teaches without speaking, shows without pleading, and affirms without diminishing. The invisible strength of boundaries communicates an undeniable truth, that one is whole, complete, and undiminished by absence. Moreover, this practice of self-value cultivates inner peace, for one no longer measures happiness by the attention of another, nor defines self-worth by fleeting gestures. One becomes anchored in a foundation that no retreat or withdrawal can shake. And as the days pass, the one who is pulled away is met not with desperation, but with the quiet radiance of someone who knows themselves, who respects their own needs and limits, and who understands the sacred art of patience and timing. It is in this steadfast recognition of self that true connection finds its soil, where attraction deepens, respect grows, and the ties that endure are nurtured, not by pursuit, but by integrity, presence, and unwavering self-worth. There is a subtle wisdom in the human heart that often reveals itself in moments of distance, in the retreat of one who once seemed near. When a man pulls away, it is not always a reflection of disinterest, nor a denial of care, but rather a natural movement of the psyche seeking clarity, understanding, and the restoration of equilibrium. The mind and heart, when overwhelmed by intensity, require a pause, a moment in which to breathe and reflect upon the currents of attachment and desire. It is here, in this sacred space of withdrawal, that profound insight can emerge, if only the other recognizes the hidden patterns and does not respond with fear or reaction. To understand the psychology of pulling away is to recognize the delicate interplay between presence and absence, between engagement and reflection, and the ways in which the human heart awakens in the tension between closeness and distance. Many do not see the depth in this withdrawal. They interpret it through the lens of ego, imagining rejection where there may only be hesitation, perceiving loss where there is the quiet stirrings of self-awareness. But the truth is that the act of pulling away often signals the mind's attempt to reconcile desire with freedom, attraction with independence. It is a moment in which the soul measures the worth of connection, weighs the balance of respect and value, and seeks a mirror in which to recognize what has been taken for granted. Those who respond not with chase, but with composure, patience, and a deep sense of self enter into a realm of influence far greater than any outward persuasion could achieve. For in not chasing, in not pleading, one allows the mind of the other to awaken, to feel the absence keenly, and to encounter a reflection of what is truly desired. This psychology is ancient, woven into the fabric of human relationships since time immemorial. Desire is not born solely of presence, but often of scarcity, of the tension between longing and fulfillment, between pursuit and respect. When a man senses that his freedom is honored, yet the other's value is undeniable, a transformation begins. The withdrawal that once caused anxiety now becomes a teacher, revealing the depth of feeling, the clarity of boundaries, and the gravity of connection. In these moments, the heart begins to realign, the mind reassesses priorities, and the bond that may have weakened in its hurriedness finds new soil in which to grow. It is vital to understand that this is not manipulation, nor a calculated ploy, but a natural rhythm that honors the intelligence of the heart. When one stands firm, guided by inner calm and wisdom, one allows the natural course of human reflection to unfold, recognizing that absence does not diminish value, but rather illuminates it. In the quiet of distance, the mind awakens to recognition, and the heart remembers the power of the one who is both present and unattainable, whose strength lies not in chasing, but in understanding, in patience, and in the profound respect for the psychology that governs the ebb and flow of human connection. There exists a force in the universe more subtle and more powerful than effort, more enduring than insistence, and it is the force of attraction. In relationships, this law is often misunderstood, reduced to a fleeting desire or a superficial charm, yet its true essence lies in alignment of thought, of intention, and of self. When a man pulls away, the first instinct may be to pursue, to insist, or to fill the void with anxious energy. But the deeper understanding shows us that attraction is not a commodity to be won, nor a game of control to be mastered. It is a reflection of the energy we carry, the life we cultivate within, and the respect we hold for ourselves and for the natural rhythms of the other. To truly attract, one must first embody the life one wishes to reflect, for it is in presence, not in pursuit, that the currents of the heart respond with sincerity and gravity. The law of attraction is not magic, it is natural law, as predictable and exact as the cycles of the seasons or the rising of the sun. When one focuses upon growth, upon beauty, upon joy, and upon the cultivation of self, the invisible currents of energy begin to move, drawing into one's orbit what aligns with this frequency. When a man has pulled away, the challenge and the opportunity lie not in forcing connection, but in strengthening the magnetism of one's own being. Each moment spent in cultivation of passion, purpose, and peace is a reinforcement of the unseen signal that draws naturally to it. The heart responds not to absence born of weakness, but to presence born of strength. The mind notices not the hollow void, but the vibrant completeness of the one who stands unwavering. It's important to recognize that attraction, in this deeper sense, is reciprocal and intelligent. It responds to integrity, to patience, and to authenticity. By honoring one's own boundaries and maintaining dignity in the face of withdrawal, one does not merely wait, but participates actively in the creation of resonance. The energy of the withdrawn man is not destroyed by distance, rather, it is invited to awaken, to recognize, and to return with clarity. This is the invisible alchemy of attraction, the blending of respect, self-value, and the silent power of living fully. Many falter because they mistake attention for attraction, effort for influence, or noise for presence. True attraction requires stillness, alignment, and the quiet confidence that one is enough, even in absence. The moment of withdrawal, when met with composure and the embodiment of one's own worth, becomes a mirror. It reflects back not what is demanded, but what is genuine, what is powerful, and what cannot be overlooked. In this recognition, the law of attraction demonstrates its highest function, not to coerce, but to awaken desire, respect, and connection through the simple act of living fully and authentically. In the silence of restraint, in the patience of dignity, one discovers the profound truth that attraction is not built on pursuit, but on presence, not on insistence, but on authenticity, and not on clinging, but on the radiant force of one's own being. Here, in this natural harmony, the bonds that endure are created, and the heart, once pulled away, begins to find its way back, not by pressure, but by the quiet, undeniable power of alignment. There is a profound freedom that comes when one learns to stand firmly within the realm of one's own emotions, when one recognizes that true power is not in dependence upon the attention, approval, or presence of another, but in the mastery of one's own inner world. Emotional independence is not the absence of love nor the denial of connection, but the cultivation of a state in which the heart remains whole, vibrant, and self-sustaining, regardless of the fluctuations of others. When a man pulls away, the initial stirrings of fear or longing are natural, yet they are not the measure of one's value. The one who embodies emotional independence responds not with anxiety or desperation, but with understanding, poise, and the quiet confidence that life and happiness are not contingent upon the whims of another. To achieve this independence, one must first turn inward to know the depths of one's own being, to nurture passions, ambitions, and joys that exist without reliance on external validation. It is in this cultivated wholeness that a magnetic force emerges, one that is far stronger than clinging or pleading could ever achieve. When a man senses that his withdrawal does not disrupt the balance of the other's life, that he has not diminished, nor can diminish the radiant core of their spirit, a natural curiosity and desire awakens. Emotional independence communicates silently, yet with a voice that cannot be ignored. I am complete. I am grounded. I am not lost in your absence. This independence is not rooted in detachment from love, but in a profound respect for its natural flow. Love, like all forces in the universe, moves best in freedom and alignment. When one is emotionally independent, one does not chase or manipulate. One does not measure success by a return of attention, but by the serenity and clarity of one's own heart. This strength does not create distance as a weapon, but rather as a reflection of integrity, a mirror in which the other can recognize what is precious, valuable, and untouchable in its essence. It is in this space of self-sufficiency that true attraction and respect are born, where connection deepens naturally, not through coercion, but through recognition and resonance. Many falter because they mistake emotional attachment for influence or dependency for intimacy. But the heart that remains sovereign, that nurtures itself without waiting for the reflection of another, becomes a beacon that draws not merely attention, but genuine connection. When a man has pulled away, emotional independence allows one to observe, to understand, and to remain unwavering, not in arrogance, but in the quiet power of knowing that one's life and joy are whole, complete, and radiant. It is in this mastery of the self that true influence arises, that the currents of attraction return not through pressure, but through the undeniable presence of a spirit fully realized. Emotional independence teaches that one need not grasp, plead, or chase to be valued. Instead, it is the steady, unwavering cultivation of one's own heart that awakens desire, respect, and ultimately the recognition of what is truly irreplaceable. There is a natural rhythm in human relationships, a cycle as old as time itself, in which pursuit and respect move in delicate balance, each responding to the other, each shaping the depth and quality of connection. When a man pulls away, it is not always a rejection of affection, but often a moment in which the laws of this cycle reveal themselves, offering insight into the forces that govern desire, attention, and appreciation. To honor this cycle is to recognize that the heart cannot be compelled, that true connection is not born from desperation, and that the value of an individual is most fully realized when both freedom and respect are present in equal measure. There is a profound wisdom in stepping back, in allowing space for reflection, for longing, and for the recognition of what has been taken for granted. In this pause, one observes the delicate dance of pursuit and respect, understanding that each movement of the heart has purpose and each withdrawal is an invitation to awareness. The cycle begins not in demand, but in integrity. When one maintains composure, when one honors personal boundaries, and when one refuses to compromise self-respect for temporary attention, a remarkable transformation occurs. The one who has pulled away begins to experience the weight of absence, the subtle truth that connection is most valuable when it is freely given and genuinely recognized. Respect is awakened not by insistence, but by the quiet strength of a presence that does not bend to neediness or fear. Pursuit, when it arises naturally, is then not frantic, but thoughtful, measured, and meaningful, a reflection of admiration for what is steadfast and unyielding. It is a pursuit rooted in appreciation rather than entitlement, in desire rather than obligation. The cycle teaches patience, for it is not immediate recognition that binds the heart, but understanding and timing. In respecting one's own space and honoring the withdrawal of another, one sets into motion a sequence in which connection can be reborn stronger, clearer, and more aligned. The one who pulls away begins to see not what can be demanded, but what must be earned, not what can be possessed, but what is to be cherished. This awakening is neither hurried nor forced. It is the natural response to authenticity, strength, and unwavering self-worth. Many fail to grasp this rhythm, mistaking the absence for loss or the withdrawal for rejection. Yet those who understand the cycle of pursuit and respect recognize that it is a dance of energies, a law of human interaction that rewards patience, integrity, and inner stability. By holding fast to composure and refusing to chase with desperation, one becomes a mirror in which the other can see both their longing and their responsibility. The cycle moves as it must, and those who honor it discover a profound truth: that pursuit guided by respect and fueled by genuine admiration is far more powerful than any effort born of fear or insecurity. In the final measure, the cycle of pursuit and respect reveals the essential balance of relationships that the heart, once free to wander, returns not to demand, but to honor, not to possess, but to value. It is a rhythm that teaches wisdom, patience, and the quiet art of influence through presence, integrity, and unwavering self-respect, a law as eternal and unshakable as life itself.